I was a solitary child. There were kids who called themselves my friends, but they didn't understand me. I lived in a different world. My parents said they were Christians. They never acted like the Jesus they claimed to follow. Nothing I did was ever good enough for them. My mother was always crying in the kitchen, and my father always yelling, always with a bottle in his hand. If I ever stepped out of line, my father would beat me with his belt until the red marks were practically tattooed on my skin. My pastor never helped. He turned a blind eye to my pain. If I ever showed any weakness, he told me to turn to God and read my Bible. He forced me to read every page, but it did not help me at all. It was poetic, but stuffy and empty. God never cared about me, and nothing ever changed. I finally gave up believing in stupid religious magic. All I wanted was to grow up, to escape. If I were only a few years older, I could resist. I could protect myself. My life would be drastically different. I was running from yet another beating when I saw it, sitting in the corner of old Mr. Turner's East Field. Odd music wafted in the background. A young man with red hair, Mr. Cougar, stepped out from behind a horse and gestured to the carousel behind him. He asked me one question. "You want to be older?" I didn't hesitate. I just stepped on, and the carousel began to turn. From then on, my destiny was determined. There was no going back. As the carousel spun and I felt myself age, I knew what I had to do next. I needed a companion for my future life. I stumbled into the tavern, giddy with new life, and that's when I saw her, the unattainable girl. Never before had I seen such a woman. She broke all the rules. She wasn't going to let society tell her what to do. Her skin was a glowing, dusty shade, her eyes a beautiful brown. She let her hair down. I sat down, bought her a drink, and soon we were deeper in love than I could have ever imagined. I saw her whenever I could. She was the once-in-a-lifetime kind of love. I proposed marriage, she said no.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
It was the first time I saw her for who she truly was. She had put me in a trance. I wanted nothing but her. She, though, had other plans. She didn't want just me. She confessed to seeing other men. I couldn't believe such a thing. I had given up everything for her. In that moment, my new strength asserted itself, and I grabbed her and dragged her through the field back to the carousel. I threw her on and started spinning the carousel. She slowly became older and older. I wasn't going to let her live a life again of freedom. I would never let anyone hurt me again. Soon she was 67 and she became mine, an old witch no one wanted. When I eventually started the circus, she became my accomplice in capturing souls of those unhappy with their ages. From then on, the pain of others only fueled me. The wailing of unhappy souls invigorates me. Love has no allure for me any longer. Heartbroken, I dragged myself to the tattoo parlor. I picked the first tattoo I see, a shattered heart. With the dust witch by my side, entrapping the souls of others has been little more than child's play. We feed almost without effort on the hurting, the downtrodden, the forgotten of the world. With every soul I capture, the witch engraves their silhouettes on my body, enchanting them so I control them just like I control her. I lure them in, enticing them with the wondrous things our carnival has to offer. Many of them offer but little resistance. I have found that they wanted to join me, would join me whether I encouraged them or not. They're just so afraid of nothing. They're willing to accept anything we offer them. I finally captured them with my snake eye tattoos. For every town we visit, we gain new apprentices. They love working for me. Every 100 years or so, we revisit towns, but we are careful to keep well out of the memory of the current generation. At one point, I began to think of the pastor again from my childhood, the monster. I had the witch add him easily. Our business was flourishing until I saw him not long after we entered Greentown, Illinois. He wouldn't tell me his real name at first, but I knew immediately that he had to be my partner. Oh, I'd had partners over the years, but none of them understood. None of them had looked at the world so deeply and been able to look away. None of them understood the pain of humanity as deeply as I did, but this one did. I could see it in his eyes. And with such a name as Nightshade, we would make excellent partners. Dark and Nightshade. Nightshade and Dark. I told him so myself, once the witch put him under my power, and he'll stay that way. The audience is waiting for the bullet trick. They don't know it yet. The witch better have stopped that janitor's clock.
Ha 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 ha!